Hello, my name is Leslie Ohnstad. Today we're going to do a texture technique with the Bling It Champagne Pearl Mineral Mica. I'm going to be mounting it with some golden extra heavy gel medium, and I will be colorizing these and using this as a texture as part of my piece. I like the extra heavy gel as it will dry with a little bit of dimension and lift up my mineral flakes that I'm going to lay down, my pieces of mineral, and kind of create a little dam. This is a canvas, a 16 by 20 canvas that I had been attempting to do a cloud pour. Quite a few of us are trying to get the chemistry just right on the cloud pour. This will become a swipe, and the swipe, by the way, is already done, so stay tuned for part two. Now, the mineral flakes, what's really interesting about this is natural mica, and they've burned off the impurities, and what's left behind is this beautiful mother of pearl. There's a gold that looks like fool's gold. We got it in two different sizes, and we have an actual silver, and a smaller version of these mother of pearl flakes are also en route to us, but right now we've got the three up on the website. I love the idea of being able to add some kind of texture to my piece, maybe geode work for resin workers. You can colorize these. I've already been experimenting with making colors, which hopefully in the future, maybe by Christmas time, I'll have some of these in colors for you guys. But in the meantime, I can show you how you can paint them yourself and get unique coloring system. Again, my plan is to swipe the area where there's texture in acrylic, and I'm going to resin over the top of this. Now, look at how this paring knife is just splitting apart these chunks. They really come compressed. I've gotten 7 to 8 layers sandwiched together. Just be very careful and pull them apart. I've got a little paring knife. I've used Yupo paper, just something really thin that can slide between the flakes. The gel medium dries completely crystal clear. So the color up underneath will come through if that's what you want, or you can colorize the gel medium once it's dried. My plan is to antique it slightly with a little bit of black, so the colors that I'm going to put on my flakes will kind of pop. Hard to believe that this is how it comes in its natural form. I've been using coated micas for years, the interferences and the ones that look like they're gold and copper and bronze. And unfortunately, the technology for the coated mica comes from overseas. We use it to produce our paints here in the USA, but our source. So I'm slowly making my way around the top of this canvas, pushing the flake into the gel, but trying not to push it down too much. As you notice, the gel medium may come up and lift up again between them. That may be a look you're looking for. I personally wanted the flake to just kind of sit on top and feel like it was seated into the gel. I'd say the average size of the flake would be about 3/4 of an inch to up to maybe an inch and a half, inch and a quarter size. They're still pretty big, pretty good sized. I'll tell you what, when I saw this, the first thing I thought of was geode, some kind of texture. Now, you saw me sprinkle a little bit of something there. I forgot to tell you, I was taking a little bit of the Bling It Sparkle Gold. That's our larger particulate gold flake. It's not like this flake you're watching me tear apart. It's like our large interference. It's a real sparkly gold. It's under the Bling It line. It looks a little bit like glitter. And so I'm just kind of sprinkling randomly, dusting the top of these flakes as I'm laying them down, knowing that that gel medium will grab some of it as I was sprinkling it. So if you see me pick up the spoon and sprinkle something real lightly in there, that was a little bit of the Bling It Gold in there. I must say, it definitely loves the light. They're real sparkly. So I'm about to finish up here. We'll get to the end here in just a minute. I cannot wait to do more projects. Okay, so now I'm testing colors on the flakes. And first I'm testing the viability of a color called Autumn Leaf. It's a warmer brown that we have. It's got a lot of gold, a little bit of a pink cast to it. But after I've done that, I decide I'm going to take some Playful Peony. Um, you'll see me grab in a few minutes. It'll start to look like a peachy pink. And I end up putting the Playful Peony, kind of pick the high spot. Here we go, the Playful Peony. So in my palette, I have a little bit of water and then the pure pigment in the other one next to it. And I'm just kind of wetting my brush in the stained water, pick up a little bit of pigment and move it around, get my brush a little bit wet with water. Because I'm going to go over the top of this with resin, I don't need to bind it. I don't need to spray it. The last thing I want to do is put a film on top of it before I put the resin on it, because we know this is going to sparkle like crazy under the resin. The beautiful thing about using the primer elements, our water soluble colors, is they cannot be reactivated in the resin. You pour the resin on top, that color is going to stay permanent right where I'm laying it down. That's one thing you can use the science in your favor if you know how to do it. Water soluble colors cannot be reactivated with the resin. So you can sandwich acrylic in between your layers. You know, if you're going to do more than one layer of resin, you can even just take plain old primer elements of water and do an abstract little thing on your top of a resin pour and layer another resin on top of it. And again, the primer elements will not reactivate. That beautiful shimmering color isn't going anywhere. So what I was going for was kind of a rose gold effect. And so I chose to kind of highlight, like I said, the centers where the peak of the flakes were with this Playful Peony. It's kind of a rich, uh, warm coral color, pinky coral color. And then I'm going to eventually go over the top of it with more of the autumn leaf. And where I really wanted to warm it up, I grabbed a few grains of even some of the ginger peach, which is our very, very dark yellow. Both ginger peach and autumn leaf have quite a bit of gold. Autumn leaf has a little bit of a copper in there. So it's going to catch the highlights and give us a really strong metallic look when it dries. I can already see a little bit of the blue coming through from the color up underneath as the gel's starting to dry. And I did let it set up and dry a few hours before I came back and applied the color. That's one thing I forgot to tell you guys is that's why we're starting to see some of the color through the gel is I let it set up for a little bit. I didn't want to just put water and color on top of the gel till the gel had a chance to start to really grab the flake and adhere itself very well to the canvas. Okay, so here's a close-up from one angle with my cell phone and the flashlight. And you can see the pinks, the golds, the coppers. This is the next day after it dried. See that line that looks like a highlight where I'm pointing with my finger? That's the gel medium that's dried completely clear. But this really, really looks like some kind of beautiful rosy gold. I cannot wait to see what this looks like with resin on top. I mean, it looks amazing. And now here's in a different light. I actually took this in my washer and dryer room and put it under the holographic light so you guys could get a really pretty close up of it. The colors are just gorgeous. Of course, now you can tell that gel's completely clear. There's no more white that's left. Okay, so I'm experimenting with just kind of tossing some of my small gold down, and I decided I'm going to use some of the golden carbon black. I'm only putting about 3 to 4 drops in, and that's all I will use for my entire piece. Just those few drops of paint. And I'm carefully going and accentuating the cracks where there's obvious gel medium that's pushed up, or perhaps some texture there that's losing its crispness, shall I say. I think the black is going to accentuate it. So I'm going in between a paintbrush with just a little drop, a little bit of paint on it and spreading it around as much as I can. I've got a Q-tip to kind of rub it in. I'm taking my finger to rub it in. I am going to drop some more color on top, so I'm not as worried if it looks a little bit too defined, shall I say. The black looks too harsh. Right now, I just want to get that in there so it's antiqued. And this is a part one of part two, part one of a two-part video. It's amazing how far just a few drops of that pink goes. That Carbon Black by Golden is really, really black. It's my go-to when I need a really nice, thin, but intense black liquid to do some touch-up work like this. I am a, s- I'm mesmerized watching this while I'm supposed to be giving you guys a voiceover, but my mind is just reeling with all the different ideas that I can do, that we can do with this incredible product. The Champagne Pearl Flakes available at colorart.com. I think they're stunning. We have the orders are starting to ship already on this. The Polypour is shipping Tuesday and Wednesday this coming week. For anybody who's already placed a Polypour order and you want to kind of do a follow up, it'll leave this coming week. Which the swipe that you guys are going to see me do. Now I'm just seeing what that gold looks like on top. Okay, so the next part will be the acrylic fluid swipe is coming up next. Right now we have a coupon code primary colors 319, save 25% on your order. Thank you for joining me, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.